What's up, guys? Welcome back to our video, and today we just got What If episode 8, and it was amazing. In fact, it was incredible, and this was the what if scenario. What if Ultron won? What if Ultron gathered up all of the Infinity Stones and also won? And we also saw some returning characters in this episode as well, and plus the ending also this sets up the finale of what's to come, and this definitely sets up Multiverse of Madness, so there is like more to come. So in this video, this will be my what if episode 8 breakdown. But if you're trying to avoid all major spoilers, there will be spoilers in this breakdown. So if you're trying to avoid them, you better click right now. But if you're still here, let's get into it. So the episode starts with returning characters Black Widow and Hawkeye from episode 3 of What If in this episode fighting Ultron's army, or as it's called to the Avengers, sub-Ultrons. And what they're trying to do is they're trying to kill Ultron. And now, as we can see, like we see Hawkeye's mohawk, like we saw from Avengers Endgame, and now it's in this episode, which was really cool to see. And also, but based on this episode with Black Widow and Hawkeye taking down Ultron's army just to kill Ultron, I think this episode of What If is taking place during the event of Age of Ultron. Next, we see the event where Tony Stark used the Mind Stone to create Ultron, and then Vision turned into Ultron so that Ultron can destroy the planet. So in this episode, Ultron was like gonna win. Next, we see Tony Stark in his Iron Man suit, but with his helmet off. We see everything around him like falling apart, and then he says to Ultron that he didn't have to do this, like he made him for peace. And then Ultron says to him it's evolution, and then he ends up killing Tony Stark. And when we saw the last time, like Tony Stark being killed, and whatever that was, episode 6. Then after he does this, he launches missiles and rockets and destroys all of Earth, with Black Widow saying that it is too late, that he already did it, and this means Ultron already won by already using the missiles and rockets to destroy the Earth. And also, but because in Age of Ultron, Ultron almost literally destroyed the Earth. Next, we see Thanos returning in this episode, as we saw in the last time in episode 2 of What If, and he has the Infinity Gauntlet, as in the Age of Ultron post-credit scene. We saw Thanos in his armor gain full control of the Infinity Gauntlet when it's set up the events of Infinity War. And within the first two seconds that Ultron meets Thanos, he immediately splits him in half and splits the Infinity Gauntlet in half, and he gains full control of the Infinity Stones. And now Ultron has gained all the power of the Infinity Stones, which means that he won already. He immediately already destroyed Earth and everything. Next, we see Ultron going to literally every planet in the universe and destroying them, like Asgard, the Sovereign, where the Guardians of the Galaxy were fighting, and we saw the same thing in Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 opening scene. And then he goes to his car and literally kills everybody, including Korg and the Grand Master, and then Ego and Xandar, which means like Ultron literally went to every planet in the universe and blew everything up. So that means Ultron literally destroyed the Earth, and that's how like Ultron won in this episode, by getting all the power in the Infinity Stones to blow up literally every planet in the universe. Then, as we hear the Watcher talking about Ultron, we see the Watcher in his visible form, and in the early episodes of What If, we saw him invisible up in the sky, watching over the events that happened in What If unexpectedly. But in this episode, within the final 2 episodes, we see the Watcher in full visible form. And now I think like in the finale, the Watcher is definitely going to interfere in this one. Next, we see Black Widow and Hawkeye in Archives building, trying to gather up information that they need to kill the army, the sub-Ultrons, and Ultron himself too, as he has gained all the power of the Infinity Stones and literally destroyed Earth. And as Black Widow and Hawkeye are like looking at all the folders and all the files, we can see a Captain America shield, which Black Widow ends up using, which is a different color. And with Hawkeye scraping through all the folders as well, with the Watcher helping them as well. There is a Professor X Easter egg in the scene that could lead into Multiverse of Madness, and within all these folders, there's a name drop, which like a name that is spelled out differently, which could spell out Charles Xavier Professor X, which is rumored to appear in Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. So I feel like within this episode of What If, I feel like the finale of What If is definitely going to lead into Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. Next, we see a folder with the name Zola on it, which we last saw him in episode 1 of What If, which was the Captain Carter episode. Next, we see them go into the Hydra base in Siberia. There's also a reference to the Captain America the Winter Soldier post-credit scene when we were introduced to Wanda and Quicksilver. But in this episode of What If, they go into the Hydra base to speak to Zola so that they can give them the information that they need. And now with Zola, he was a scientist who infiltrated S.H.I.E.L.D. and that Natasha and Steve went to Camp Lehigh there to talk to Zola themselves. There's also a reference to Captain America, like the Winter Soldier, when they went to Camp Lehigh to talk to Zola on the computer screen as well. Next, when Zola finally gives them the information that they need, Natasha dials up Avengers Tower to speak to Ultron, and then she makes a funny joke about pizza on gluten-free crust, and then she gave them 2 minutes, and then Hawkeye used one of his arrows to download the files from the computer to destroy Ultron's army, including Ultron himself. Next, as we see Hawkeye and Black Widow trying to destroy Ultron's army, Hawkeye uses one of his arrows to trap Ultron's army into a barrier, and then Hawkeye and Black Widow are trying to escape as it is trying to blow up. As they're trapped inside the barrier, Hawkeye falls, and then Black Widow seems to catch him, but for a few seconds, and then Hawkeye actually sacrifices himself, and now between this parallel, as I saw in Avengers Endgame, Natasha sacrificed herself for the Soul Stone, but in this episode, this is the same parallel, and then Hawkeye makes the ultimate sacrifice, and actually using the arrows to shoot Ultron's army, and then blows it up, and that makes Clint die as well. And then this episode ends with the Watcher and Ultron fighting each other, and then Ultron seems to be beating up the Watcher and very easily as he is tossing the Watcher through many planets. And then as Ultron, he tries to bite on a planet, and now this is quite similar for Galactus, because Galactus is a cosmic entity, and now with the shot, we can see Ultron trying to do that. This is actually a reference to Galactus, who is rumored to be showing up in the MCU in the near future. And then as they are fighting, Ultron says that he seems to have won, and then we hear Steve Rogers saying a chant and an agreement or something, and then Ultron punches the Watcher so many times that the background around him actually changes, and we actually see when you punch him, have them the people turn into scrolls. And then we hear Ultron say that the multiverse is at his fingertips, so the multiverse is all open because of Ultron. But we all know in the Logan finale, Sylvie actually the one who opened up the multiverse, but the multiverse did happen in this episode of What If. It's because of Ultron, because he has all the Infinity Stones and literally destroyed the Earth, and now he has gained full power. And then the last scene is with the Watcher and Doctor Strange, or also known as Strange Supreme, like we last saw in episode 4. And then the Watcher tells Strange the Supreme that he needs his help because Ultron is now a multiversal threat, and now the Watcher is totally gonna interfere in the finale, and hopefully we'll get to see that shot of Strange Supreme and Thor staying together and working together, and hopefully we'll get the rest of the heroes from the previous What If episodes, and that's all gonna set up and lead up to the finale with all the heroes fighting Ultron, which is possibly a multiversal threat. And now with this episode of What If, I thought it was pretty incredible and awesome, and with the Watcher and Strange Supreme working together, as the Watcher tells Strange Supreme that he needs his help, this is definitely going to be leading up to the finale with all the heroes from the past What If episode scenarios to take down Ultron, which is a multiversal threat. So that is going to be also setting up Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, as well as we're in the multiverse now. And there was so much Easter eggs and so much stuff in here that lead up so much to the finale and Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. So I can't wait to see what's to come for the finale in season 1 of What If, with all the heroes from the past episodes of What If assembling it together just to take down a multiversal threat. There's also setting up Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness as well. So that's gonna be it for my breakdown, guys. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below of what you thought of What If Episode 8, and give me a rating between 1 out of 10, 10 being the highest. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe and turn on that notification bell for future videos, and you can follow me on Instagram and Twitter for live updates. And with that, I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.